properties. Default. Oh, here we go. There we go, baby. Okay, now I think we're good. Okay, now we're set up and ready to go. Let me turn that down just a hair. No game audio yet because I have it all turned off because I don't like the annoying music. All right, so we're going to depart. Oh, that's not right. We're going to depart 2.6. Yes. We're going to depart 2.6. That's cool. And you go back here and then we'll arrive 2.7. Cool. So this is going to be our route. All right, so let's throw this in. Let's throw this plan into the iPad. I don't have to do that yet. Maps. So basically all I'm doing right now is I'm going to type this route into the iPad and then like on here, kind of tough to see, but it's basically like a map and you can type a route in there and pick different like arrivals and approaches and stuff. So we'll go KPHX depart KPHX and then arrive KSAN, and then we'll pick our like procedures first. So our departure procedure is going to be Firebird 1 to Mohawk. So procedures, and then we'll go back to the iPad here, and the departures is Firebird to Mohawk, and we can add that to the route. And then I'm just doing it on here so I can like track and see it. And then when we get in the airplane, we'll type it all in again in the flight computer. So then the autopilot knows like what it wants us to do basically. All right, so keep editing, Firebird Mohawk, and then actually we'll do the arrival to San Diego, which is going to be ILS. Um, ILS into 2.7. So I actually don't know what that's going to be yet. Arrivals. Oh no, it's Lucky 1. Yeah, okay. So Lucky 1, back. The arrivals is the Lucky 1. Oh yeah, I have hogs to Lucky 1 there. Alright, cool. Add route. And then in between those two, it's super easy. We just have J2. So that's like insert after Firebird is just J2. And that's basically like the name of a highway. And so like a highway in the sky. So you like leave Phoenix on the Firebird departure, and then at Mohawk you enter the freeway J2, and then you exit the freeway J2 at Hogs, and then you're on the Lucky approach. So, and also I have no idea what I'm doing. I've only flown little tiny airplanes, so. But we've got that in there now, so that's cool. And there's a ton of weather like around Phoenix actually, so we should turn on live weather here. This would be cool looking. Flight conditions, live. Do live weather, live weather, live weather, live players, live everything. So it'll be nighttime. That's cool. All right, so we got that in there. And we're going to go fly now. So now we'll get this thing loaded up. And we'll start this little flight tracker here. So like I have this thing, it's called flight events. And it basically will like connect to the same network wirelessly that my iPad is connected to. And so on my iPad, I can track the airplane in the video game like it's GPS basically. So it'd be like the same if we just had the iPad in an airplane and you're like looking at it using it and you just had the iPad GPS turned on. But we're going to tell this, it's called Flight Plan Go, this like flight planning app and flight tracker and stuff to 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 use the GPS that's coming from this program on my computer instead of the GPS that's on the iPad. And I'm also going to be getting progressively drunker as this happens because this is a strong Captain and Diet. And I can move my flight plan out of here now because I don't need that. And we're gonna get started here. Oh yeah, and it's just gonna put us on a runway, but we're not gonna like request clearance or anything. So we're just gonna basically sit on the runway for a few minutes while I like type stuff into the flight computer. Which isn't super realistic. But also, what I plan on doing at some point in the future is a stream where I do like a full cold and dark startup from like sitting at the terminal with an airplane that's like cold and dark. So then you have to like push all the right buttons and start everything up and change all the power settings, and you know, it's cool. It'll be fun. But I'm not very good
Phoenix
at that
Tower
yet. So.
Astro 11 ready for west departure at runway 26.
Astro 11 altimeter 29.880, wind 109 at tree 5. Departure to the west approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 26.
Cleared for takeoff.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 Astro 11.
So there's no lights on in here, and the lights are like right here. Oh yeah, it's doing a bunch of stuff. So it's like, it's doing all of its like auto checks and stuff when you just load up on the runway like this. It'll just like run through a checklist basically. But we'll turn on some lights, and then we'll go, it's control 5. Yeah, it looks us right at the computer. So we'll enter the flight computer, and that looks cool. So let's go flight plan, and Phoenix departures. What did I say? We're on 26, so we'll go down to 26. Phoenix departure. And we're doing the Firebird departure to Mohawk. It's a transition. And then I click that, and then we'll hit insert. We should be good. Yeah. So there's that Firebird, and then we end up at Mohawk, and then after Mohawk, we're gonna go to this airway. So via J2. So insert J2. Oh, maybe I did that wrong. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's like this. Let's go. Maybe we have to put in Mohawk. So I'm still like figuring out some of this stuff. Mohawk. I don't think that's a thing. Yeah. So we'll go clear, and then I think it's going to be J2 to, let's go hogs. There, J2 to hogs, okay, and then insert that. Did that do it? Yeah, okay, so now we like Mohawk, and then we get on the highway at J2, and then we exit the highway at hogs, and then we do the lucky approach to San Diego, or arrival. We're going to go ILS 27, or, oh, we can only do ILS from the other direction. Okay, so we're going to change that then. We're going to go ILS runway 9, which is basically like 180 degrees the other direction. So it's the same runway, 27 and 9. There's only one at San Diego, so do that, and we'll do lucky. And we'll just change it up a little bit. No, it's not right. Nice. So, but I don't want that. Arrivals, pilots, 0. Lacto, 2. That's it. I like that. Oh yeah, okay, so there we're good. SARS Gato, and then runway 9. Alright, so then if we look at RadNav, the ILS is already in here, 111.55. So that's cool. And then now I think we can like basically talk to ATC. They said it was 2980. So we'll change our that thing right there. And then now you can see our like flight plan is on here, kind of right here. But if I change it, we can get a little bit better like view of what's going on. So this is like 20 miles out, 40 miles out, 60 miles out. And if I keep changing it, then now it's like 40, 80, 120, 160. So you can see like all the waypoints that our flight plan is, or that our autopilot's going to take care of when I get that all turned on after we take off. But now I think we can, there's like some other stuff you're supposed to do down here, but it doesn't matter a ton for us. Like I can put in a V1, a V rotate, a V2 speeds and all that stuff, but I don't really know that much about it. So I'm just going to leave it out of there and not mess with it. Like transition altitude, I don't know what temperature it is. Barrows, 2980. Format error. See, like, I don't really know how some of this stuff works. But we're pretty much good. So let's talk to ATC and see what they say. Oh, they already cleared us for takeoff. So we can pretty much just take off. And then they'll start talking to us after we do that. Inside the plane. Looks pretty sweet. There's like Tempe's over there. And south, west. But anyways, yeah, we'll take off and see what happens. We'll set our throttles to like 70%, I think, is what you set them to for takeoff power. Which is basically like right here, CL for climb. And then as long as you're in this space, up to this D10, you're on auto throttle, so we'll just take care of it for you. So we'll do that. Set it to there. And then we'll take the parking brakes off. We'll start moving. Now, is this iPad turned on? This is like an iPad that these programmers put in the game, because this isn't the standard A320. Actually, I'm going to change a control setting real quick. So we'll set this back to normal. Fine safe. But like right now, the iPad won't turn on. I don't know why. And when we get a little faster, like 140 or something, we'll try to take off. Autopilot's going to take over. So it's going to level us out. And then it'll take us to our first waypoint, which we can't see now because I went too far out. So now it's going to take us to our first waypoint, which is attack. Or if we wanted it to go like more directly towards Firebird up here, I could just go to this, go to flight plan, and I think I can hit direct. Skip JUTAC and go straight to VTOL. So, flaps warning. I'm going to take my flaps off. But that's good now. So, we're just going to skip.
Astro 1-1 have the traffic.
We're going to go past these two.
Astro 1-1 have the generic in sight.
And we're going to go direct Firebird.
Astro 1-1 have the generic in sight.
So, direct, and then we'll go Firebird. So now, see this yellow
the
line?
generic on final. 0.109er at 35.
It's going to take us.
Caution the generic landing runway 8. Cleared to land runway 7 left. Cleared to land runway 7 left southwest 621.
Oh, never mind. It's still doing that, so I did that wrong.
Going 0.6.7 Astro 11. Phoenix approach Astro 11 4,900 feet.
Astro 11 Phoenix approach altimeter 29.80, continue as planned. Astro 11 contact Phoenix approach on 126.8. Good day.
Going to 126.8 Astro 11.
Tune that approach.
Phoenix approach
Contact
Astro 11
Phoenix
5,000
approach.
feet.
Astro 11 Phoenix approach altimeter 29.80, continue as planned.
Just wants to chill.
Phoenix approach Astro 11 3 miles southwest of Alpha Zulu 90, request IFR to Lindbergh, ready to copy.
Astro
So
11
I
is
did
cleared
something
to
wrong.
Lindbergh Airport
So we
as
ended up
filed.
not going directly that way, but whatever, now we're on that route. So squawk
Southwest
4175.
209er,
Do that
you are
by
15 miles south. Climb and maintain 7,400 feet. Expect right LS
And that's
runway
there.
26 approach via Sarin transition. Cleared to Sarin.
We'll read back our
Astro
IFR
11
clearance.
cleared to Lindbergh Airport as filed. Squawk 4175.
Astro 11 read back correct. Radar contact 5,000 feet. Altimeter 29.80, continue to Weddell turning, and following heading 150, resume on navigation, climb and maintain 11,000 feet.
Climb and maintain 11,000.
Climb and maintain 7,400 feet. Expect ILS runway 26 approach via Sarin transition, cleared to here in southwest 209er.
Tell the plane I want that.
Continue to Weddell turning and following heading
So
150,
now
proceed
got
on
a
course
little bit of
climb and
climb
maintain
going.
11,000
Right
feet
here.
Astro
So
11.
that is. It's going to take us up to 11,000. And then they'll just keep giving us altitudes, not headings, because like we, filed our flight plan, so they know like what our
2,500.
waypoints are going to be. And they'll just give us different like altitude clearances, so we don't run into other planes and whatnot. But otherwise, we should be just chilling now for a little while.
Southwest 209er, you are 600 feet below your assigned altitude.
But I can't.
Climb and maintain 7,400
Oh, yeah, so, like,
feet. Altimeter
this thing isn't working
29.75.
because I haven't started. There. So start flight tracking. Start.
Climb and maintain 7,400 feet. Southwest 209er.
I'm not sure why. But oh yeah, so this thing right here is like an iPad in the game, and you can like import flight plans. So you like see the plane flying like on this flight plan, doing all kinds of stuff, and it gives you like all kinds of different information. It's pretty cool. Turn the lights down a little bit, and let's seatbelts are on. No smoking. Emergency exit lights are on just in case. Turn the lights down. Exterior lights. Can't do that. Can't do that. Just turn them on. Okay. Turn them on. None of that stuff. Cool. So, like on our way
Southwest
right now.
209er,
All I can show
climb
you is this
and maintain
one.
7,000 feet.
This is like a map on our route. So like that's where we are. These are all our waypoints that we're gonna hit. This is like the flight plan we took.
Climb and maintain 7,000
So that was
feet.
like our
Southwest
departure, right?
209er.
To the Firebird departure, which includes all these to Mohawk, and then this is where you hop on that freeway on J2 all the way to what was it, Logs? But we ended up doing a different one. 'Cause instead of coming in on the localizer over downtown San Diego, we're gonna fly over it higher and come out around. do an ILS approach 109 at San Diego. So that's what all that stuff means. But now we're approaching 11,000, and she hasn't given us a new altitude yet, but she probably will pretty soon. So we have to listen to that. Live weather, a bunch of clouds and stuff.
approach Astro 11 requesting vector to next waypoint.
A little bug or something.
Astro 11 continue to Weddle turning and following heading 050.
Oh yeah, they just like.
Continue to Weddle turning and
Are
following
stuck.
heading 050
Oh, you
Astro
know why? It's
11.
probably because we didn't hit a certain waypoint. Let's try to see.
Phoenix approach Astro 11. Request flight level 260.
Like, you're saying we hit. I don't know how that happened.
Phoenix approach Astro 11 would like to cancel IFR.
Astro 11 ISR flight plan is canceled radar service terminated. Squawk 1200. Maintain VFR. Frequency change approved. Good day.
Albuquerque Center Astro
requesting
11 is
again
type
the-
Airbus A20N 9er miles west of 29er
Seagull.
Alpha Zulu
So I think it might just be a
16,300
little
feet.
bug or something.
Request flight following.
Astro 11 Albuquerque Center. Squawk 7344. Astro 11 radar contact 12 miles west of 29er Alpha Zulu
We'll just
17,400
ask
feet.
them for IFR clearance again.
Roger Astro 11. Albuquerque Center Astro 111 3 miles west of 29er Alpha Zulu request IFR to Lindbergh ready to copy.
Astro 11 read that correct. Radar contact flight level 185. Continue to JUDTH turning and following heading 250 resume on navigation descent and maintain 16,500 feet.
16,500.
Continue to youth turning and following heading 250 proceed
We're
on
only
course descent
19.2.
and maintain 16,500 feet Astro 11.
I don't know why they're keeping us that low.
Albuquerque Center Astro 11 would like to change destination to Lindbergh.
Astro 11 is cleared to Lindbergh Airport as filed. Squawk 7344.
Astro 11 cleared to Lindbergh Airport as filed. Squawk 7344.
Astro 11 read that correct. Radar contact
Descended,
flight level
maintain 8,000
185.
feet. What the hell?
Continue to JUDTH turning and following heading 250 resume on navigation descent and maintain 8,000 feet.
Alright, whatever. We'll just
Continue to youth turning and following heading 250 resume on navigation descent and maintain 8,000 feet Astro 11.
Astro 11 climb and maintain flight level 240. Expect flight level 260.
There it is.
Climb and maintain flight level 240. Expect flight level 260 Astro 11.
2.6, so now that's in there. And now we're going to climb again, and you'll see throttles are going to stay there because they're on that D10 and auto throttle. But you'll see this pick up a bunch. And the exhaust gas temperature pick up a bunch as we like start to climb for it.
Astro 11 please expedite your climb flight level 240.
There's still a couple little like bugs in here. Like for whatever reason it wouldn't take my new altitude for like level change. So I had to like disconnect the autopilot and turn it back on and then it jumped right back in there. And then the like auto throttle kicked us back on to maintain 290 knots. Anyways, and then this is our Mach speed down here, so it's actually 0.60 Mach. I think we'll do right here too. Right here. Yeah, but we're just not on this like method. be able to see like our Mach speed right there. But we're gonna hit a couple more waypoints here pretty soon and start like making some turns and stuff. That'd be sweet. As we climb up a lot higher.
Climb and maintain flight level 260 Astro 11.
Astro 11 contact Los Angeles Center on 134.65. Good day.
134.65 Astro 11. Los Angeles Center Astro 11 is passing flight level 245, climbing flight level 260.
A little tiny
Astro
right
11 Los Angeles Center, continue to Hux as planned.
Everybody goes off this standard altimeter now, so like all these altitudes can be perfect basically. And I don't know if you noticed, but when I changed this, we were at 2980, which I'll change it again. Watch the altimeter here, so see how our altitude changes. Then I go back, since we're over 18,000, we go to 2992, and it changes this over here. So this has got to be like standard, so they can, like airplanes have to fly at a certain altitude over 18,000 feet because they're flying like east and west on the same highways, just at different altitudes. So if you're flying west, you're at evens, like plus or minus 500 feet, so like 18,500, or whatever, like basically whatever ATC puts you at. But if you're flying east, you're flying the odd numbers, so you might be flying east at like 31,000 feet. So you've got to, everybody just uses the standard altimeter setting over 18,000 feet.
did you copy?
Yeah, I copied.
Climb and maintain flight level 260 Astro 11.
What do you even mean? I'm there. Jacob, I think I would know. I mean, I'm flying an Airbus, so if you have some complaints, you can email me or something. But I mean, what do you even do for a living? Like I play this video game for like 3 hours a week. So if anybody would know about airplane stuff, this winter right here. No, just kidding. Whoever's paying attention, Jacob actually flies planes for a living, so he would definitely know better than me. Minor.
Astro 11 contact Los Angeles Center on 128.15.
128.15.
128.15 for Astro 11.
Boop. Say hello.
Los Angeles Center Astro 11 flight level 260.
That's us.
Astro 11 Los Angeles Center continue to Cupola as planned.
Continue to Cupola as planned. No problem. So 8 miles to Cupola. And I actually don't know what this means. 333. It's like I thought it was telling us like time. Oh, maybe it's like Zulu time we're gonna land. Oh no, that's just like current Zulu time, I think. Because right now it's 8:32 on my watch, so maybe that's just what that is. Change the speed. Can I do that? If I do this, boop, turn us up real fast. No, back. Yeah, there we go. I want to go. So see how this like blue guy is changing right now? That means like I'm manually putting it in instead of the flight plan.
Astro 11, please expedite your climb flight level 260.
I'm at 260. What do you mean expedite my climb? I'm here. I'm gonna increase by 6,000.
Los Angeles Center Astro 11. Request flight level 320.
Well, Adrian.
Astro 11 climb and maintain flight level 260. Expect flight level 320.
What are you even talking about? Climb to 260. All right, we'll climb out of 26 and get you all cranky, and see what you say. So we'll turn up the speed even quicker. Actually, I think I'm gonna get an overspeed if I go over like 10. So it's
Astro 11, did you hear my last transmission?
I heard it. I heard your last transmission, dog.
Climb
Like
and maintain flight level 260. Expect flight level 320. Astro 11.
So we'll climb out of 26, and then they'll yell
Astro
at us.
11 climb and maintain flight level 320.
Okay, there we go. 320. Bink. Go up to 32. So, Adrian, if you're wondering, I love to learn stuff that isn't that hard and that has basically no consequences if I mess it up, which is pretty much exactly what's happening
Climb and
on
maintain flight level
this game.
320 Astro 11.
And also, if you try to tell me that you've never considered whether or not you could land an airplane, if something happened to both pilots and there was no one else on a 160-person flight that had more flight time than your whatever amount of hours you have, then you're lying to me. Because I know you've dreamt about it. I know you've thought about it. So there's like this little part of me that just fantasizes about two pilots, sitting up front, the captain and the first officer, and they get into some kind of battle to the death, with a knife that they snuck through security or something. And they're like knocking stuff around, they're like pushing buttons, and the throttles are getting all messed up, or they're, on the wrong radio frequency, or the wrong heading, or the computer gets messed up, or whatever. They end up dead, right? So then the flight attendants come out and they go, hey, the pilots had a knife fight. Who here can handle the situation? And I just go, I literally lean out to the aisle, I just go, this fucking guy. right here, I got it. And they go, you handsome guy, get up here. And then I go sit up there, and then here's the thing is like I call
and maintain flight level 240.
240. Got it, Turner. Here's the thing is like I tune in the radio to whatever thing I feel like, and I say, hey, I don't want any sass. We're gonna do an ILS approach to whatever runway we're gonna go to anyways. And we're just gonna continue the flight as planned. So that's why. Also, on a more real sense, like I started doing this last semester, and last semester was horrible, and so was the semester before that, because it's all online and everything. And it's just like super easy and chill, and I can drink booze while I fly in
Los Angeles Center, Polaris 916 Heavy is passing
which is
flight
pretty
level
cool.
385, descending
But now,
10,000
see, our
feet.
speed is getting like
Polaris
we're going too
916
fast.
Heavy, Los Angeles
We're about to
Center,
enter like
continuous
a
plan.
speed condition. So I'm gonna turn this back off like that. So now we're gonna go back to managed speed at 290 here. Oh, you didn't even ask me. I thought you were asking what is the point to learning all this info. You're asking what is the process to learning all this info. Oh man, Adrian, you should have stopped me. I went off on a whole tangent about knife fights and pilots battling to the death. Oh my god, the process is actually super straightforward. YouTube videos. That's it. It's so chill. Like there's just literally walkthroughs, like literally taking you from like a cold and dark startup to where you can like have the plane parked at like a like a gate, you know, and you can like learn like which of the correct buttons to press in which order to start the thing, to start the airplane, and then you're like, bring out the fuel truck, bring out the food stuff, bring out the baggage truck, and they like load it and do all this stuff. Then you can like request a pushback, and like, oh man, it's so fun. So the process is very very chill. But yeah, I'll definitely be ready.
11 descend and maintain flight level 180.
180. Sounds good, handsome ATC fella.
Descend and maintain flight level 180.
So where are we at? We can see how many miles away we are, I think. Actually, I don't know how to change it. Oh yeah, that's the sound. So
Los Angeles Center United
range
1277
change.
is passing
So
flight
here's
level
the thing,
345,
like,
descending 10,000 feet.
here's the airport right here.
United
This little,
1277 Los Angeles
it's like in this
Center,
spot right here.
continuous plan.
So we're like 80 miles away, or 75 miles away from the airport. So that means we can start like descending a little bit. Well, kind of a lot. There's actually a little map. There's a little like formula, and it's like roughly, basically, if you're cruising at like 35,000 feet, you want to start your initial descent when you're like 100 miles from the airport. And I forget, there's a handy little equation, and it's like, oh yeah, it's the first two numbers of your flight level times 3. That's how many miles away you want to start your initial descent at like 3 degrees to make it super comfortable for the passengers. So it's like, you know, if we were at 33,000 feet, let's say, times 3, so 300, yeah, so 99 miles away is when you'd want to start your initial descent. But when you're on an IFR flight plan, ATC will usually just tell you stuff, like, we need you at this altitude at this time, or, you know, that kind of thing. Or they'll say, like, just make sure you're below 7,000 by the time you hit Jeeves or something, and then you can kind of like calculate that, say, oh, okay, we're 45 miles away from Jeeves, and we got to go down to like 12,000. So if we go down, you know, this many feet per minute or whatever, then we'll know we'll get there. Everything Explained for the Professional Pilot is the best book of all time. I disagree. I have read all of the Harry Potter books, and so I would probably say that's the best like book series of all time. Also, I'm working my way through a series called Actually, the series doesn't have a name. It's a series about a guy named Mitch Rapp, who's like a CIA superstar, and he just like goes all over the place, kills bad guys. That's another pretty good book series. Pretty bold statement of you, Jacob, to insinuate that everything explained for the professional pilot, a niche industry, is the best book of all time. It's pretty bold. I know you're a pretty handsome guy, tall and all that, but you know, pretty ballsy of you to think you can just get away with a statement like that on my stream. Okay, my stream.
Astro 1-1 descend and maintain 6,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet, Astro. Bink.
Descend and maintain 6,000 feet, Astro 1-1.
See that? That's just the kind of smoothness you can expect from this guy when talking to ATC. Because I just got it. Yeah. Alright, so what are we looking at out here? I'm actually not really sure. Oh, this is like, oh, okay. So this looks like Coronado Island, actually, right here, this little strip. And this will be Point Loma, which means the airport is going to be like right here, kind of. And then this is like San Diego, baby. That's all San Diego. And then LA would be, you know, up, actually I think this is all this lit stuff up here is LA. Dude, on a real note, guys will fly like, I mean, hypothetically you could do like a million-hour flight, or like an infinite long flight, because if you look up here, right here on your fuel, like if you ever want, and I've done this like on little single engine flights, I'll put in like being a co-pilot, or like, you know, I'm like 270 and say the co-pilot's like 220, it changes the weight and balance of stuff. And then these are your fuel tanks right here, so we've got like 1,300 gallons in each wing, and like the inner, and then 228 in the outers. But you can just move these around, right? Like mid-flight. So you could do a million-hour like flight if you wanted to. But dude, I've seen streamers literally do like 8-hour flights straight up. Like I haven't watched them all, but yeah, they'll do all the flights. And then yeah, I think I turned the seatbelt sign on. There, everyone's chilling, right here. Yeah, I'm on. See, I'll turn them off. We'll turn them off for now. We'll turn no smoking off too. We'll just get the party started on the way home, or like while we're in our descent. Which we're still on our descent to 6,000. Because we're only like, you know, 45 miles away from the airport. But yeah, I'm like pretty sure that's Coronado Island, and then this is the airport like right here. But that's okay. They'll get us down, and we're just gonna actually forget how to do it. So I'm gonna have to try to remember how to do an ILS approach with all the buttons. Because if you use the like autopilot correctly, it'll fly you down to like the runway, like more or less. So most guys though will turn it off at minimums, which I think it just depends on the airport or something. Maybe the weather, but like we'll turn it off at like 200 feet above the airport, and then we'll hand fly it in. But like if you look, like I literally haven't touched this thing in like an eternity. So, oh, you want a descent speech? This anxious grandma is wondering when we land, what gate, what temperature is. Okay, yeah. Where's the button? Is there a button for it that I can click? Oh, I don't know what that was. I think I just turned off autopilot. Yeah, turn back on. Alright, that was close. Alright, so, ladies and gentlemen, we're about 40 miles away, descending through 10,000 feet. Current temperature in San Diego is 9 degrees Fahrenheit. They're experiencing the worst summer in the history of San Diego because it's 9 degrees Fahrenheit. The oceans are frozen, supplies are dwindling, and people have taken to looting their neighbors. That being said, we're going to have a beautiful approach. The gate we're going to be at is gate 7. So if you have a connecting flight or whatever, do with that information whatever you need to. Although I would expect not much is going to be necessary because of the current 9-degree Fahrenheit apocalypse that we're going to be landing in. Which is surprising, given that information. We can't see any fires currently burning down there. You would expect freeways to be blocked and, mass panic. This actually out here is San Isidro. If you look at your left window, this is Mexico. So this is a wall, and then this is Mexico down here. So you might want to just try to make a run for it down there when we land. What else? While you're in San Diego, if you can find a car, might be worth driving up to San Clemente. They have good burgers and stuff. Some cool golf courses. There's also a couple big Navy bases and Marine Corps bases you can go check out. Just drive right on. They won't mind. Speed through the gate so they know that you belong there. That's kind of the preferred method of entry. So they don't like it when people tiptoe up to the gate to like show ID and stuff. If you just speed through the gate, they appreciate the confidence because it means you got stuff to do. You like obviously need to be there. Other than that, folks, I was able to stab my first officer with a knife and win the knife fight up here, so we don't need any passengers to come on up and take care of anything. Landing the airplane wise, I mean, I've got it probably under control considering I've been drinking. As far as snacks are concerned, you don't get snacks. This is a short flight. You just gotta sit there on this big stinky bus full of masked animals. Unfortunately, we have snacks up here in the cockpit that we're just chowing away on. I mean, I use the term we, like a royal we, because the first officer is no longer with us. But yeah, it's cool up here. I wish my iPad would turn on. It's not giving me any cool information. And ATC hasn't talked to us in a while, which is disconcerting. Yeah, we're still going down to 6,000. That's fine. We're still going pretty fast. Oh yeah, we're under 10,000, so the max speed is 250. Oh yeah, see, it just did that. That's like something in here that I didn't program that I think the
Astro 11 contact SoCal approach on 124.35.
12435.
124.35 for Astro 11.
And we'll talk to them.
SoCal approach Astro 11 6,100 feet.
Astro 11 SoCal approach altimeter 29.90, continue to Lucky as planned.
2990, continue to Lucky, which is our next waypoint we're going to hit right now.
Astro 11, you are 21 miles east. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect localizer runway 27 approach by LYNDI transition.
Speed 210.
Cleared to LYNDI.
Oh yeah, and then I can put in a notch of flaps because we're going to speed 210. So we'll throw in a notch of flaps, and that beeping is an overspeed warning because we're going too fast for. Yeah, thank you. Can you turn on? We're going too fast for the flaps, right? But we'll descend a little bit. Get me down to 5,000. So the engines you can see are basically at idle because we extended the flaps. So we extended.
Astro 11, please acknowledge. Astro 11 descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
4,000.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet.
So like,
expect localizer runway 27 approach via Lindy transition. Cleared to Lindy Astro 11.
27. 27. Yeah, it's really late. I don't need that. What?
SoCal approach Astro
Get out of
11.
here. Can't say that.
Cancel IFR at this time.
Astro 11 ISR flight plan is canceled. Radar service terminated.
Whatever.
Squawk 1200.
Dumb
Maintain
idiot.
VFR. Frequency change.
So we're just gonna
approved.
go the rest of the way without ATC. And
SoCal approach Astro 11 is type Airbus A20 and 6 miles north of
but
0
yeah,
Charlie
anyway,
Lima
so
Tree,
we put out the
4,800 feet.
flaps,
Request
which
clearance to
basically makes the
transition
wings a
Bravo
lot bigger,
airspace.
so it gives you like
Astro
more
11
lift.
SoCal approach. Squawk 0407.
407.
Astro 11 radar contact 7 miles northwest of 0 Charlie Lima Tree, 4,300 feet. Clear through the Bravo airspace.
And I think I could actually put us in
Maintain
approach
on
mode
navigation.
right now. But I'm not quite sure. We don't have pretzels. Well, I should clarify. I
Cleared
have
through
pretzels.
the Bravo airspace Astro 11.
You animals in the back.
SoCal approach Astro 117
Don't
miles
get
south of
pretzels.
Gillespie. Request IFR to Lindbergh. Ready to copy.
We, again, the
Astro
royal we,
11 is cleared to Lindbergh
have
Airport as
pretzels.
filed.
Okay.
Squawk 0407.
Astro 11 cleared to Lindbergh Airport as filed.
I think I can
Squawk
turn on
0407.
approach mode, but I'm not sure. If
Astro
I turn on
11
approach
reached
mode, it's going to show us
Accurate.
down a bunch. Climb
Radar
maintain
contact
8,500. Get
4,000
the
feet.
fuck out of here.
Altimeter to Niner decimal niner
Cancel.
0 turn right heading 265.
Cancel.
Proceed on course climb and maintain 8,500 feet.
No, that's absolutely, yeah. Okay,
Turn
we'll
right
acknowledge
heading
that.
265. Resume on navigation climb and maintain
So there's the airport.
8,500 feet Astro 11.
Pretty cool. And downtown San Diego's right here.
SoCal approach Astro
Downtown
11
San
requests
Diego,
destination change to
Naval Air
Lindbergh.
Station, North Island. This is right behind
Astro
the
11 is cleared to Lindbergh Airport as
Point
filed.
Loma,
Squawk
big
0407.
old Navy base.
Astro 11 cleared
Guys,
to
we're gonna
Lindbergh
tell them
Airport
we're
as
gonna do the
filed.
whole clearance thing.
Squawk 0407.
Astro 11 readback correct. Radar contact 4,000 feet.
I'm not gonna do it.
Altimeter to Niner decimal niner 0 turn right heading 270. Proceed on course climb and maintain 8,000 feet.
No. We're gonna turn our speed down. Get down to 180, which I think means I can put out another notch of flaps. So that's me.
Turn right heading 270. Resume on navigation
do that, then
climb
we're
and
gonna keep
maintain
going
8,000 feet Astro 11.
Astro 11, you are 5 miles east. Keep speed not above 210 knots. Expect localizer runway 27 approach by LYNDI
This
transition.
would be super wrong
Cleared
in
to
real life, by the
LYNDI.
way. But
Stand by Astro 11.
Astro 11, roger.
keep me with this approach. Give me vectors and altitudes. Ooh, didn't like that. This computer is stuck right now. No. She did not like that. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to stop responding to ATC. So, Adrian, we're gonna, we're gonna fly out, like, actually over the ocean out here. So you can see, like, this is the runway. We're gonna keep going out here and make a little loop, come back and land facing the other direction.
Astro 11, did you hear my last transmission?
No, I didn't hear, or I did hear it, and I'm not gonna acknowledge, and you're gonna stop bothering. All right, so we're gonna put out another notch of flaps. Which our flaps are right here. These are our flaps. And I just, using a button on my joystick here, there's like a button I can use to just like set this. So earlier I said I took it from 0 flaps to 1, now we're at two notches. And also our flight speed is only 180.
Astro 11, did you copy?
I copied, and I will not be responding to you anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, I need you to get your goddamn seats. Get your goddamn asses in the seats, okay? I don't know if you can tell, But hey, give me this descent to 2,000, you stupid airplane. Oh, you know what I'm gonna do actually? So I think I could do this.
Oscar 1-1, did you copy?
No, cancel my IFR because I'm not responding to you. Grandmas, if there's any old women in the toilet, if you don't get back to your seats immediately, I'm gonna have the 17 air marshals on board kick down the door and start assaulting you. Get out. Stop smoking and pooping in the restrooms. You animals. This isn't 1957 anymore. There are rules when you're on airplanes. You know what?
Oscar 1-1 ISR flight plan is canceled.
There we go. Cancel my IFR flight plan. See if I don't care. You know what, guys? Seatbelts on. Everyone, and no smoking is on. Okay? Emergency lights on, and standby and ice indicator is on, and dome lights are on, and the announcement light, or whatever this thing is. I actually want you off. All the other lights are on, so everybody sit down.
2,500.
2,500. That's cool. So here's what I'm gonna do now. It's like I honestly don't know what's gonna happen. Is we have our ILS stuff here, so this thing, it picked it up. So now we're like, earlier you couldn't see this because we weren't close enough to the airport. Now you can see it. But I wonder what will happen if I try now to like pick up the ILS approach. We're pretty far out here. Pretty far out over here. So let's try this. LS localizer. So these little guys, these diamonds, tell us we're on that correct heading, but we're actually going the wrong direction. And then this tells us we're way underneath the glide path. So let's turn that on. And then I think, yeah, it's just going to take over for us right now. So see the plane make a steep left bank. It's going to turn us around and get us basically on the opposite direction, but on that same head, well, on the opposite heading. So we're going to be going back straight at the airport, and then it's going to be kind of cool. You'll actually see this when we finish making our left and get back on the heading. This will come back to the middle, and then we'll maintain 2,000 feet until this comes down to this yellow line, and then we'll be on the appropriate glide path. And then the autopilot is going to keep us on the appropriate glide path. So I see this on a hard left. Instead of continuing that, I think it's just going to now loop us back around, and we'll hook up to the ILS approach. And I wish I could show you like what I'm looking at on my iPad, because it's cool to see. Actually, I can show you. So this is what we were gonna do originally. Was fly out here, fly out this way, and then come back this direction and land ILS. But I started the ILS approach early, so we went out here and turned left and turned right. Now we're gonna keep making this big circle around and come back in and land. So we'll see how this goes. I think it's going to go fine. And then we're going to taxi to the gate. And we're going to demand a bunch of stuff from the airport. Like food, baggage, fuel, I don't know, all kinds of stuff. And then we'll call it a night. Uh-oh, we're turning again. Don't turn me back left. What are you doing? I'm not really sure what ILS stands for. It's basically Instrument Landing System, maybe? Something like that. It's basically so like if there's a bunch of weather, like if you can't see anything, there's like a million clouds, the airplane can still like, the autopilot can basically still land the airplane. I shouldn't say land the airplane, but bring you in on like an appropriate instrument landing system. Okay, the airplane can basically still bring you in on like a dependable heading. So you know you're on like the correct glide slope and you're lined up with the runway. But then, like I was talking about earlier, is you have minimums. So like, let's say the minimum, your minimums you have established is like 150 or like 250 feet above the field, like above the runway. Basically that means like when you get down to 250, if you can't see the runway, then you abort the landing. But if you can see the runway by then you like will continue the landing. You'll turn the autopilot off and hand fly it in. So it's a pretty cool, like, super dependable system. But anyway, so we like completed our little loop-de-loop. Now we're gonna get back on the proper heading. And so then this will come back to the middle once we get back on this heading. This will come back to the middle, so we'll wait for that. But basically, the airport has these things called like localizers, and I actually don't know how they work specifically, but they're like these little dudes, they're not people, but they're these little like instruments, little tools that go right here, and they like shoot out signals into the world, like radio waves, or it's like frequency, right? And then your airplane picks them up, and depending on like the frequency goes like this, so like depending on the strength of the frequency, it says like, hey, you need to come down, or like you need to go up, or whatever. So it's pretty cool. It's like pretty precise and everything. Okay, so look at this. This is like, we're almost lined up here. Then you can see this one coming down. So we're about to like grab onto that. And since like we have it in approach mode, LS, and then localizer right there. Or so, no, I actually don't have it in approach mode. I could do that, I think, if I go in performance, next phase, yeah, next phase. Yeah, there's some like approach mode I can put it in, but I don't know how to do it. Approach. Whatever. Oh shit, it didn't catch us onto here. So I don't know why it didn't do that. So I'm actually going to take off autopilot, and we're going to hand fly it in. So get ready, we're going to turn off auto throttle, because we are pretty high. We're going to put some more flaps out. It's like full there, and I've like cut the throttle right now. So we are thrust idle right now, and we're super high.
American 124, you are 23 miles east. Descend and maintain 5,000 feet. Keep speed not above 210 knots.
We're gonna figure it out. We're just gonna figure it out and fly it down.
Cleared to
See what happens here. We should be, I don't really know. We're just gonna see what happens. Everybody be cool. We're gonna come in for a hot landing.
Keep speed not above 210 knots.
And see, I don't really know how to
transition cleared to Lindy American
do all this stuff exactly right here. And this is also another thing too, like I feel like a lot of the flight I can have like a super smooth flight and my computer will be fine. And then like at times it'll really start like stuttering, and it's always at the end of the flight too. Okay, so our speed is pretty high. Oh, we're gonna throw the gear out. We need gear.
1,000.
That's why that buzzing was happening, was because
Sync
it
rate.
was set.
Sync rate.
Alright,
Sync rate.
you guys ready? Pretty be cool. Oh, I have speed brakes.
Too low, terrain.
Full up.
Too low, terrain.
Full up.
Too low, terrain.
Full up.
We're good on the
Too low,
terrain. We're not
terrain.
gonna hit the terrain.
Too low,
Where are the
terrain.
speed brakes?
Too
There we
low,
go. Full
terrain.
speed brakes.
Too low,
We'll get her
terrain.
lined up. We got this.
Too
This is
low,
cake.
terrain.
Sync rate.
This is where we're
Too
supposed to
low,
be right
terrain.
now. This is no problem.
Too low,
Everything's
terrain.
fine. Nobody panic.
low,
Little
terrain.
200 knot landing.
Too
This
low, terrain.
is fine. Smooth.
20.
Ready?
10.
Auto brakes.
5.
And touchdown. Cool. Everybody. Oh boy, I didn't have the gear out. Guys, the gear wasn't down. We don't have any brakes. Everybody be cool. We got it there we go. We got her stopped on the runway. I was going too fast for the gear. I didn't forgot to put it down. But we're stopped. We're stopped in San Diego. There we go. We made it. Wait, can I request like fire or something? Request fire services. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. But we made it. I forgot to put the gear down. But I mean, look at that. That's butter. Like, I mean, you can't complain about that. We got there. The grandma was pooping in the bathroom. That was ideal. I mean, really, what a great flight. You know, everything went really well. We got a beautiful moon. Oh, fantastic. Go-arounds are never an option. Oh man, really good stuff, guys. I gotta say, we nailed it. The gear's down now. I'm gonna put it back up, I guess. But boy, we crushed that. Really good. Seatbelts, signs on, no smoking. Good stuff. I'm glad you guys were here. I can't believe I hit the gear down button. It didn't go down. Actually, Nate, I've tried that, and I don't think it works. Like, let's try squawk it. Bing. Yeah, I don't think it does anything. Yeah, or like... I don't think any of the emergencies work. Alright, well... a resounding success, I have to say. Another smooth landing. We kept it on the runway. Oh, really good stuff. And if it's not obvious, I have a lot of the damage stuff turned off. Because I wanted to do like loops and barrel rolls and stuff in other jets. And I kept getting like overstress warnings. So I just turned all that stuff off. Anyways, we'll throw the parking brakes on. And actually, let's shut down the engines. That's cool. Get some hardcore rudder trim set up. Anyways, now this is off. So that was a good time. That was pretty sweet. I think it went really, really well. I mean, besides the no gear landing, like everything else was fantastic. We touched down going like 200 knots, which is really cool. Actually, let's try this. Nobody evacuate. There's no need to evacuate. Everything is ideal. If you guys want, we can do this. I got this thing the other day. We got the old F-22. See how long this thing takes to load in. Oh man, really good. I pushed the gear down button, but I think the thing is like if you're going faster than like I think it's like 180 actually, 180 knots. I think if you're going faster than that, the gear won't come down. It'll like cause massive problems, or it's just like something in the airplane's like, you know, programming or whatever. But I should have checked. That's it. You know what? That's where we messed up, is we didn't go through the landing checklist. I just realized that the ILS didn't grab on to put us on the glide slope. And then I panicked and turned off the autopilot and said, fuck it, we're going to hand fly it in. And I never checked
Tower Astro 11 ready at runway 27 straight out departure.
Checklist.
Astro 11 altimeter 29er decimal 9er training wind 248 at 7.
Sick. Alright. So I don't know anything about F-22s, but we're just going to see what happens. Pretty rad. We're just going to go fast. Turn off the brakes. And we'll send it, you know? Let's see what happens for a minute. Maybe the brake. There we go. Is that a little bit better? Thanks, Jacob. I appreciate your input. That was a fun night. Alright, whatever. I'm pretty over it. We're going to dive. We're going to dive and see what happens. You can see our speed here on the... that's vertical speed, altitude. This is just our vertical speed. Where's our... Oh, yeah, here's our airspeed right here. Alright, cool. So let's see what happens in a pretty steep dive. Full throttle. Our vertical speed is minus 70,000 feet per minute. We'll see if we can pull out of it. Or I'll just show you what happens since I have all the damage stuff turned off. Is this Palomar? This might be Palomar in like northern Carlsbad. Oh yeah, that's Pendleton up there. Oh yeah, that's Palomar. Alright, cool. We'll show you what happens when I like slam into the ground since I have all the damage stuff turned off. Bink! Just panics. Anyways, guys, what an excellent night. Thanks for coming along. I'm glad you guys got to see me flawlessly fly an Airbus the whole way. Program the flight plan in, you know, takeoff, departure, the whole route, air traffic control, the departure, the approach, the perfect landing. I mean, honestly, like, what more could you want? So, anyways, I appreciate you guys hanging out. That was pretty fun. I'm gonna go make another drink, and we'll do this again. I haven't done this for a while, but next time we'll try to get that. I'll try to get that landing a little bit smoother. But I really appreciate you guys hanging out. That was so nice of you. So I'll see you guys